All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Ratz. I'm the Senior Web Services Technician for RE/MAX of Western Canada. For today's webinar, we actually have a very special guest, Meredith Shooter, who's going to be telling us all about the Protect Personal Security app. Are you there, Meredith?
I am. Hi, Jeff.
Here we go. All right, so I'll pass things over to you.
Sure, great. Good morning. So like it was mentioned, my name is Meredith, and I'm the founder of Protect Smart Personal Safety. As a high-level overview, before we really jump into the demo, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what we offer. Protect is a smart personal safety app designed for Apple and Android, really with the real estate space in mind. I was a realtor for many, many years and saw a big gap in the safety piece in the real estate industry. So our platform enables users to designate a circle of protectors. Now, these could be family or friends or colleagues, and you can create an event for when the user wants safeguarding, such as an open house, or if you're showing a condo to a client in the evening, or someone you're uncomfortable meeting because you don't know them yet. And if the user hasn't checked in by the end of the event, an SOS message is sent out to their group of protectors. From there, the protectors are taken to our patented communication room hosted on the web, where they can review important information about the user's whereabouts and take action to ensure that that person is in fact safe. The app also has a giant help button, which the user can press if they find themselves in a dangerous situation without having to pre-schedule anything, and it goes through the same SOS process. I actually use that quite often if I enter an elevator or if I'm walking down an alley. I will open up my phone, the app pops up with a giant help button, just so if anybody is thinking about anything sinister or nasty, they know I just have a quick help right at the touch of a finger. But we'll get into this a little bit later. It's really all about leveraging technology and empowering users to feel more in control of their own safety, and that they know they have a circle of people looking out for them. So a little bit about what we're going to do in this demo. Due to the fact that I want to show you two phones, I want to show you the protector, who's the person who's actually using protecting the person in the app. So we have a realtor, and I'll give you a little bit of background on her, and then her friend who's protecting her. I have pre-recorded the actual demo because it's really hard to do it live and virtually. Usually I would do this in person when I'm meeting with people. I've already created an account, and I want to focus on the core functionality of the app, and we're limited in time, and I really respect your time. So we're not going to do the onboarding flow. It's pretty standard in terms of setting up an account. I'm doing this demo on my iPhone. It's the iOS version, but it's the exact same on the Android. You'll see here that I have the little app icon, which I will click into, and I'm taken to the home page. And right away you have access to the help button, which I'll speak a little bit more about in a minute. But before we begin, I want to present you with a scenario, weave a story so we can go through the demo. Eileen is a real estate agent, and part of her job is to show homes, open houses, etc. She uses the Protect app to ensure she has a circle of people aware of where the open houses are, when they're scheduled, the location, and any other pertinent details. First of all, let's look at her protectors. So we went to the side menu, and if we hit protectors, you can see she already has her mom and a colleague named Bob confirmed as protectors. She has no unconfirmed protectors. When we click the unconfirmed, you can see that. So Eileen wants to add a new protector. So she clicks Invite New. She can either scroll through her contacts, which syncs seamlessly with her phone, or search for the one she wants. She's decided to add an entirely new friend as a protector. So she clicks Add New. She adds Sarah. Here she goes. We're going to call her Sarah Demo for the purpose of this demonstration. She does have to put the country that Sarah lives in. We have actually customers all over the world, so it's important that you put the country as well as her phone number. She clicks Invite, and you can see that Sarah is now on the unconfirmed list when we click Unconfirmed. There we go. So now we're going to flip over to Sarah's phone. This is Eileen's friend. Sarah will get a text message letting her know that Eileen Gallagher is requesting her to be a protector. This is what the text message looks like. It is asking her to be a protector from time to time. Basically, if Eileen wants Sarah to look out for her and Eileen needs help, she'll be contacted and provided a link to the communication room full of useful information. and providing Sarah a link to accept or decline the invitation. So Sarah clicks through the link. She's provided all sorts of information on what it means to be a protector. It's telling her that if she accepts, she's agreeing to be on standby, receives alerts, and a phone call in case of an emergency. And if Eileen needs help, Sarah will be linked to a communication portal full of useful information on Eileen's situation, and that Sarah's name and photo and phone number will be shared with the other protectors in Eileen's circle. So Sarah reads all this and she agrees to the terms and conditions and she clicks accept. The next page stresses that Sarah will only be contacted if Eileen truly needs help and lists out the responsibilities of Sarah now that she's agreed to be a protector. In an emergency, Sarah will get a link to the communication room. This is where she and other protectors can review the status, information, and post messages that Eileen and other protectors can see. You can also see Eileen's cell phone battery life, which is pretty useful in case she's running low on battery. This is where the protectors will assess the situation, look at Eileen's location based on GPS, notes, and photos. And you can send help as you see fit. Maybe you call Eileen, you call the other protectors, you check in, maybe even you call the police. Right at the bottom there, you can see there is a short video that Sarah can watch. It's not a demo of the app, it's rather an overview of how the app can be used. So going back to the app, you can see now that Sarah Demo is a confirmed protector and listed with the 2 other protectors. Eileen can also manage these protectors by choosing to put them in different circles. We can see here there's 3 options. The first, the front of line people who will be contacted immediately. The second will be contacted 10 minutes later if the SOS has not been resolved. And the third circle 20 minutes later. You can very easily drag and drop with just your finger people between circles. We've actually had lots of users say, you know, if they're using it for a Tinder date or something, they will move mom down to the 3rd circle because maybe mom doesn't need to know all about their personal life. One important thing to note is that the protectors do not need to have the app to accept the responsibility. We're completely device agnostic. Now, I think for the purpose of the app, let's remove Mom and Bob and just keep Sarah Demo. I want to show you how easy it is to remove protectors, just as easy as inviting them. For the purpose, it's just kind of nice to just have one. So let's remove Mom. We're going to confirm, and then we're going to remove Bob. Perfect. So now we just have one confirmed protector, just Sarah. So let's create an event. Going back to my main menu here, I'm going to go ahead and schedule an event. You can see here Eileen has no event scheduled, so we're going to add a new one. Eileen has a few options here. She can manually add an event or sync from her calendar. So she is choosing to add an event from her calendar. Any device, it'll sync with all of your calendar activities. Eileen sees all the events from her calendar. She chooses a meeting with Arnold. He's a new client, she doesn't know him, and she wants to make sure that her protectors are aware of this meeting should something go wrong. You can see the title, date, and times have all been added. She could manage her protectors from here by easily dragging and dropping, as we saw before. And when you scroll down, you can see the status update is on. Eileen can either decide to send her protectors a note when the event starts, or she can turn it off and only alert them if she truly gets into trouble. She decides to leave it on because she wants to let Sarah know that she's starting an event and have her on standby. She toggled it on. And you can see here even the notes synced. So that's kind of handy. You could say maybe how you know him or where his condo is or a little bit of story about this particular client. She goes ahead and saves it, and it's added to her upcoming list. So Eileen might also decide to add another event. She's doing a 5K running session coming up in Pacific Spirit National Park alone, and she really wants to have her friends on call in case she gets into trouble. So she adds that, her Pacific Spirit Regional Running. You can see Sarah Demo in there. She could add a little note. She might want to add something like the track that she's running or any sort of note like that. Let's see, let's put a little something. Her status update is on. She's going to save this. And you can see this is in her upcoming events. Now Eileen's going to add one last event. She's going to do it manually, and we're going to have it start right away. So you can actually see the process of when the countdown begins. She's doing an open house for a client called John. So let's call it John's open home. She sets her location, which happens to be on Hemlock Street in Vancouver. And this is really setting up an event on the fly. She sets the time for starting right now and ending in just a few minutes. Maybe she's just popping in to hand over a contract. You can see Sarah is her protector. When we scroll down, you can see I have my status update on. So Sarah will be notified that this event is starting. And again, let's add a couple little notes. I actually use the note feature quite often. Sometimes I'll say the name of the client's wife, or if they have kids, or you know, any pertinent information about the property. I find it pretty handy. It actually gets saved on the portal, and really we are creating a police report in advance in case you get into trouble, and this can be downloaded and used at a later date. So notes are a good thing. So I'm going to save this, and I have it set to start now. So you won't see it in my scheduled events. You're more going to see it in my happening now events. Happening now. Now you can see the event has started. The timer is counting down with the time that we set. About 3 minutes and 54 seconds counting down. Jumping over to Sarah's phone, you can see that she got a text message. It tells her that an event has started, some details of the time of the event, and provides a link to the communication room. So clicking on that link, Sarah is taken to our patented communication room, where she is able to review the details of the event, the time of the event. She can see where her friend is and any notes that Eileen has added, and again, her cell phone battery life. Here, she could choose to maybe add a comment. Maybe let Eileen know that she's on standby if she needs her. Eileen is also able to look at her own communication room. Now back over to the app. The event is still underway, and maybe someone has arrived at the open house and Eileen feels uneasy. She might decide to take a photo of that person or that thing and add it to the communication room to give her protectors a little more data and evidence just in case. So she clicks on the camera icon, the lower left, and takes a photo. I find this is quite useful if you want to take a picture of a car, a license plate, maybe even a person or a pair of shoes, you know, just to give you a little bit of data. Once she takes the photo, it's posted to the communication room. Eileen can also click through the portal by selecting the little person and see her own communication room to see if any of her protectors have made any notes. Now we see the app, back at the app, that it's still in process. I'm just going to jump ahead a little bit just so we don't have to watch the whole countdown of 2 minutes and 42 seconds. We can see that the countdown has still started, and we're going to zip it up. It's amazing how 40 seconds feels really long. There we go. Down to 2 seconds, 1 second, and now the event is finished. And unless Eileen clicks cancel, an alert will be sent out to her protectors. During this time, the phone vibrates, lights up, flashes, all sorts of good stuff. I've just sped it up, so listen to this.
Your protectee, Eileen Gallagher, needs help. Please check your text messages and follow to the link to the event page to see what's going on.
So we did a little A/B testing, and we realized that text messages are something that all of us receive way too many of in a day, and nobody pays any attention. So we actually decided to send SOS messages as well as a phone call. So if you get into trouble, your protector's phone will actually ring on the other side. If their ringer is turned off, it'll light up and it'll vibrate, just to create a little bit of urgency and let your protector know that you truly do need them to check the portal and that you need help. So she'll also get a text message Sarah opens up the message and clicks on the link to the communication room. She can see here that help is needed. She reads over the details of the event. She looks at the map as to where Eileen is. She can see any other protectors that are listed as well as their contact information. So we really create a network of people who care for you. She can look at any comments that were made by any of the protectors. There can be up to 10 in there at one time. And now it's really time for Sarah to act. She might contact Eileen first, call the other protectors, and if she needs to, she can call the police and give them a direct address. And if she was to make a note in there, Eileen will also see the note. So she can say, hey, Eileen, I've seen that you need help. I've called the police. So meanwhile, back at the app, the page has changed to orange to show that the protectors have been alerted. You can see Sarah's name at the very top there because she has actually been alerted. And now Eileen can end the event if she's safe in one of two ways. If she hits end, she's prompted to enter her PIN. So she has to enter her PIN or her facial recognition. Then she's prompted to give a status update. The status update is really important because she's going to let her friends and family members and colleagues know that she's fine. The nice thing about entering the PIN or your facial recognition is if someone tries to end the event on Eileen's behalf and isn't Eileen, it actually recognizes that and will take a photo of the person and post them on the communication room. So now as the protector, you actually have photographic evidence of who potentially has your colleague, your loved one, your child, whoever is using the app. So we see her status has been sent. Now going back and looking at Sarah's phone, she can see that Eileen has resolved the SOS. She wants to click the link anyway, just to be safe. Eileen's cell phone battery is at 94%. That's great. She can see where she is. She can see the communication room, event's been resolved, where she is, latest status update, the time of ending the SOS. She also sees the photographic evidence. And here's Eileen showing that she's feeling good. She's given a thumbs up. All is well. So she's ended the event successfully and it's all good. Now jumping back to the app, let's say Eileen is in a situation she hasn't scheduled. She feels unsafe and wants to alert her protectors. Boom, hit SOS and the countdown will start 5 seconds and you go to the exact same process. This is an immediate help. Back on Sarah's phone, we go through the same process yet again. She gets a text message and a phone call.
Your contactee, Eileen Gallagher, needs help. Please check your text messages and follow to the link to the event page to see what's going on.
So Sarah clicks into her messages again to tell her that Eileen is in trouble. She clicks on the link, goes to the communication room. This time we can see that Eileen needs help. She hasn't added any specific notes or details because it was just an on-the-fly asking for help. We can see her most recent location and also a list of her protectors. Now Sarah jumps into action. She calls Eileen. There's two options for ending the SOS, as mentioned before. Sarah has spoken to Eileen and she's fine. She's decided to end the SOS from the communication room on Eileen's behalf. She clicks the End SOS button. This confirms that she does in fact want to end it, and all the protectors and Eileen are notified that Sarah has ended the SOS on Eileen's behalf. Jumping back to the communication room, Sarah is able to add a comment to let the other protectors know she's spoken to Eileen and everything is fine. She might even let them know why she ended it and Eileen didn't. Maybe Eileen didn't have access to her phone. Who knows? A few other interesting features I think are important to mention is we have a quick timer here, this large orange button, and you can click it and set it for 3, 10, or 20 minutes to send an SOS. So if you don't have to go through the process of scheduling an event, but you know something's coming up, maybe you're going on a walk or you're alone or you're going in to show a property, you can hit that. You can also schedule an excuse call phone call, which is super cool. That begins in either 2, 5, or 15 minutes. I won't play it now, But basically, if you hit the button in the time, it'll actually phone you, and a voice will remind you to respond and nod your head and smile, and it gives you an opportunity to leave an uncomfortable situation. So all sorts of cool features there. I know we've given you a lot of info. Something I want to show you, if I can get in here, is a little bit about our RE/MAX branded app. So as RE/MAX Realtors, we have custom branded, it's called white labeling the app for you. All we ask is that you sign on using your remax.net email address for your full free subscription. The colors will magically transform to red and blue. This gives you a little bit of a peek as to what it looks like. You can see the RE/MAX balloon here. And this is something I wanted to end with going forward for 2020, the next decade. We're really hoping to add our logo to signage and to let the public know that we are safe agents. We've had a bunch of realtors say that it really helps them in listing presentations when they're up against other realtors to sell a client's home. The fact that they have Protect and they are safe realtors and that nothing sinister will happen in the client's home is a huge benefit. And I really think you have RE/MAX to thank for that, because they take your safety really seriously and have offered this to all their realtors across Canada. So thank you for your time. We're always happy to hear from you. If you want to email us directly, if you have ideas, suggestions, or any technical help, we have a big, robust team here in Vancouver. So please do let us know. And we're here to help. Over to you, Jeff.
Great, thanks, Meredith. That was lots of useful information there. It seems like you've added a few features since we last did this webinar as well. So it looks like a really good intuitive interface. And thank you very much for actually signing in and giving us this demo today.
Oh, my pleasure. Anytime.
All right. Thank you very much.
Enjoy the snow.
Have a great day, okay?
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.